Welcome, dear viewers. Today, we dive deep into the life and legacy of Amjad Sabri, an artist whose voice transcended borders and whose Qawwali performances became a spiritual offering to millions. This is the journey of a man, a Qawwali, a devoted messenger of Sufi tradition, whose music still resonates in our hearts. Introduction to a living legend. Born into a family where music was not just an art but a way of life, Amjad Sabri was destined to carry forward a legacy. From the very first moment he joined his father on stage, the magic of Qawwali was evident. Trained under the tutelage of his father, Ghulam Farhad Sabri, and influenced by the legendary Sabri brothers, Amjad's journey reflects an unyielding commitment to both art and devotion. His early exposure to the soulful rhythms and mystical verses of Sufi poetry laid the foundation for a career that would later see him revered worldwide, not only as a Qawwali but as a spiritual messenger who bridged the gap between the sacred and the popular. Early life and musical beginnings. Born on December 23, 1976, in a city celebrated for its rich cultural tapestry, Amjad Sabri's journey began in Karachi, Sindh, Pakistan. Surrounded by the fervor of Sufi traditions, he learned the intricacies of classical music and Qawwali at the tender age of 9. His father, Ghulam Farhad Sabri, not only introduced him to the art but instilled in him the discipline and passion required to master its depths. Imagine waking up before dawn to practice the sacred notes of Rag Baran, a ritual that connected the early hours of the morning with the divine. It was during these quiet, contemplative hours that Amjad discovered the raw, transformative power of music. This was not mere practice, it was an act of devotion, of channeling the ineffable spirit of the Sufi tradition into every performance. The art and passion of Qawwali. Qawwali is more than a musical form, it is a language of devotion, a bridge between the finite and the eternal. For Amjad Sabri, every Qawwali was a dialogue with the divine. His renditions of classics such as Taj Dari Haram and Bar Du Joli Mary were not mere performances, but soulful invocations that stirred hearts and uplifted spirits across continents. Infused with the legacy of the Sabri brothers, Amjad combined traditional classical elements with a modern vibrancy. His prowess lay in his unique ability to breathe new life into age-old compositions, ensuring that the passion of Sufi poetry could speak to today's audiences as vividly as it did centuries ago. Every beat of the tabla, every resonant note of the harmonium, and every ecstatic clapping of the audience formed a tapestry of sound where faith met artistry. This was the soul of Qawwali, a rhythmic, hypnotic push towards spiritual awakening that Amjad embraced fully on every stage he graced, a global journey of musical devotion. From the vibrant streets of Pakistan to the grand stages of New York, London, and beyond, Amjad Sabri took his music to the world. Guided by his heartfelt mission, he ensured that the spiritual spirit of Qawwali reached far beyond the subcontinent. His tours were not just concerts, they were cross-cultural exchanges, where audiences of diverse backgrounds felt the universal call of devotion in every verse he sang. In every performance, the energy was palpable. Witnesses recall how his voice could fill entire auditoriums with a blend of warmth and intensity that rekindled lost memories of pious prayer and soulful introspection. His music served as a reminder that in a fast-paced, ever-changing world, there remains a timeless refuge in the embrace of spirituality. Standing as a spiritual messenger, what truly set Amjad Sabri apart was not just his vocal brilliance but his deep spiritual connection to his art. Every Qawwali was a prayer, every rhyme a step towards the divine. In a world often divided by differences, his music was a unifying force, an expression of love that transcended the boundaries of language, culture, and creed. Amjad's performance was an experience. As he sang, it was as though the very walls of the shrine echoed with the ancient wisdom of Sufi mystics. The notes he conjured were meditative, inviting listeners to pause, reflect, and reconnect with the inner sanctum of the soul. His voice carried the weight of centuries of poetic tradition yet sparkled with a freshness that reached deep into the listener's heart. The dark day a nation mourns. The bright flame of Amjad Sabri's life was tragically extinguished on June 22, 2016. In an act of horrific violence, the Qawwali was assassinated, a loss that struck not only the music community but the soul of a nation. Extremist groups, driven by narrow ideologies, claimed responsibility for this act, citing their own interpretations of blasphemy. Yet, paradoxically, it was a double injustice. A man who embodied love, devotion, and artistic excellence was taken from us in a moment of darkness too. In his untimely departure, we lost more than a musician, we lost a beacon of spiritual resilience. Yet, in every whispered note of Qawwali sung by his disciples and admirers, his presence endures. The tragedy only intensified the outpouring of love and remembrance from fans around the world, proving that art, once born from pure devotion, can never truly be silenced. The lasting legacy, today, as we remember Amjad Farid Sabri, his music continues to echo in the corridors of time, a testament to his enduring legacy. His recordings, performed with an intensity that defied temporal boundaries, serve as a guidepost for future generations of Qawwals and music lovers alike. The passion embedded in each performance reinforces a timeless truth that music, at its best, is an eternal conversation between the human and the divine. Across the globe, tribute concerts and commemorative events celebrate his contributions, ensuring that the lessons of love, devotion, and unity remain alive. His voice has become a symbol, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, the spirit of Sufi art is indomitable. His legacy is carried on by those who, inspired by his journey, seek to bring light and unity through their own creative expressions, reflection, and call to action. As we reflect on the life of Amjad Farid Sabri, we are reminded that every note he sang was a dedication to something much larger than the self, a devotion to the eternal, a commitment to a tradition that celebrates the beauty of spiritual expression. His journey teaches us that art has the power to unite hearts, challenge darkness, and rekindle a sense of wonder and devotion in the human spirit. If you haven't yet experienced the transformative power of his music, I encourage you to listen, whether it is through the soulful strains of Taj Dari Haram or the impassioned pleas of Bar Du Joli Mary. Let his voice remind us that beauty and devotion can break through even the harshest of times. Delve into his recordings, read about the inspiring Sabri brothers, and immerse yourself in the timeless world of Qawwali. In doing so, you become part of a legacy that continues to defy the silence of tragedy with the resounding echo of hope and spirituality. Thank you for joining us on this musical and spiritual journey, a tribute to Amjad Farid Sabri, whose life reminds us that every melody is a prayer, every verse a heartbeat that unites us all. If you found this exploration moving, please like and share this video to spread the legacy of Qawwali and Sufi devotion. And do subscribe to our channel for more stories that celebrate the power of music to inspire, heal, and unify. Until next time, keep your hearts open and your spirits lifted. Let the legacy of Amjad Sabri guide you on your own personal quest for truth and devotion. Goodbye, and may peace be with you.